I'm Nick. You're Alex, and we're Geek Men.
We are Geek Men. Geek Men, we loved it.
Loved it
For a long time.
Geek Men, we loved it.
Woo!
Loved it from the start.
Sing it, Trooper.
Geek Men, we loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it from the start. Geek Men, we loved it. We loved it from the start. Geek Man, we've loved it. Loved it from the start. Geek Man, we loved it. Loved it from the start.
Really give it a bit of a...
Geek Man, yeah, you just throwing it out there.
So, buddy, tell me, what have you got? You brought some stuff.
I've got some stuff to show. Okay. Now, for this,
so what do you got?
I think we should clear these. These, just move them over a little.
Let's get these dudes out of the way. Tell me, buddy.
So, I brought some stuff to show you today.
All right. So we don't just discuss movies, buddy. We discuss the toys too.
A few toys.
Nick, you are an expert in these things.
Oh, look, I wouldn't go as far as to say expert, but it is.
No, you are. I've seen you talk to the traders at the cons, but you know what you're talking about.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm impressed by the level of accuracy or the depth of knowledge you have about issues and releases of particular figurines and re-releases of figurines. Loving it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So share some of your insight, buddy.
All right, I'm going back to the original toy line, Kenner, 1977 and 1985.
Yep.
Sweet spot. I think it was around the 80s, but and R2-D2. And what I sort of wanted to sort of show you today, buddy, was the 4 versions of R2 that are out there that may not have been commonly known, but I think you might get a bit of a kick out of this. A few you know, maybe 1 or 2 you don't. I don't know. We'll see. But it's sort of cool in collecting circles. R2's so iconic. The other thing about R2-D2 is he's got the sticker, the label.
Yes.
And that can fade and that can get dirty and that can get ripped and scuffed. So to have good R2s,
after all these years,
cool.
It's hard to imagine.
Yeah, yep. and they command a price too. R2 is one of the up there. Anything in the first 12 is up there generally,
So if you're talking about an R2 that was released as part of the first 12 figurines with the original movie release, what are they worth?
I've got one.
This is it.
This one here, look, it is a bit hard to say exactly what they're worth, but I would place a good R2 with a good clean sticker at about $100 US. It may be 80, 90 US dollars.
Yeah, that's in good nick.
So, it is a little bit yellow, but you've got your lines, you've got your... Yeah. You can hold him by the legs if you want, bud. And you can he's in good nick. And it's what we call the solid dome. So there's no hole in the dome. It's a solid dome R2-D2 Kenner. A cool little guy to have. Every vintage collection needs an R2. Some guys have an R2 Focus, and they'll get lots of them.
Really?
Line them up.
They have an R2 Focus. Mm-hmm. Right.
Focuses are cool. Focuses are interesting in that some guys have all sorts of focuses.
Yep.
Boba Fett. Michael Havens from the Imperial Commissary, who featured him on Geek Men once, says he's got a Boba Focus. Awesome Bobbers. He's got stacks of them, and I think he's got a few prototypes and slave ones.
Yep.
But he must have about 300 or 400 Bobbers just in a line. It's a cool display.
So there are 300 or 400 different versions?
No, it's the same one. And that's what focuses can be interesting, because you do explore the different versions, but it's also, you can just have duplicates.
Right.
A couple hundred duplicates. Yep. So I've got another R2 to show you. The next one out after that one, solid dome. So what happened is they went for... It's actually not the next one out. I tell a lie. The next one out is an interesting little number. The next one out after that solid dome, maybe it was even earlier. Now this one is called, I'll show you. All right.
Oh, it's got the third leg.
Yeah, this is
Look at
Droid
that.
Factory
I've
R2.
never seen that.
The Droid Factory R2.
Oh, wow, that's cool. I've never seen that shit, bud.
Now, this was... Do you remember the play sets? The Kenner play sets?
Yeah, well, I remember having a Hoth one.
Yeah.
I had a Hoth one. I think that's the only one I had.
Well, this came out of the Droid Factory. The helmet... the dome comes off, the legs come off, the third leg comes off. It's part of that set. And you can buy that play set, but what's good is to be able to get the R2 in good nick. Yeah. So this one here was...
Even that one looks like it's had a little bit of weathering.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. And I agree with you, and yet that is actually still a very, very... That would be considered in collecting circles as a very nice example. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. No. I'm just saying, because the colour on the on the sticker is good and clear, and there's not smudged bits. Yep. The sticker on the Droid Factory R2 is known for coming off around the edges. It's not a very good sticker. It doesn't stick well. But that's the three-legged R2. I hope you get a bit of a kick out of that.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Wonderful.
The next one is one that is commonly seen, and this guy's called telescoping R2.
Right.
And his little dome clicks, and the little head comes off. The little sensor comes out of his dome. So
it's the same otherwise than just the presence of the antenna, but it's the same as this one here.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. So that's what's it called?
So what do these
telescoping?
go for?
They're not as expensive. They're cheaper than these two, because this is a bit more common. So this guy is somewhere between 40 to 80 US dollars. I'm talking mint. I'm talking mint or near mint condition, not rough. I mean,
without a box, it's fine.
Yeah. The box is mint on card. Now we're in the hundreds, definitely. And for this one, and especially if it's a 12 back, and it's the old original style, we only had 12
Who would have kept one in a box in those days?
Many people have done. There's collections with those boxes.
And what are they worth? A boxed original.
All right, you got me there, because I'm not a mock collector. I'm a loose collector. But for people that look at it, I'm just having a stab here. Yeah. I'm saying between $1,000 to $2,500.
Wow.
In that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in the package, mint on card.
It's incredible.
With the 12 back.
Yeah.
And guys get right into that. The amount of figures on the back dictates how rare it is. The lower figure of the earliest card, 1977, that's the hardest to get. Not the hardest, but it's the most expensive. It is the hardest too, because those original 12.
Yes,
and R2 is one of the original 12.
Yes.
So we're talking a heavy hitter in R2-D2 in vintage collecting circles.
Right.
You got the lesser characters, Klaatu out of Return of the Jedi, or General Madine out of Empire. Whatever. R2.
Yeah, and I'm sure the original 12 too.
Yeah,
is there a Jawa in the original 12?
Yes.
So Jawa, Obi-Wan, that very old Obi-Wan, Leia, Han with the hand.
Yeah.
Because he had the bent hand in that one.
And the two versions, big head and little head.
Yes, big-headed one. What the heck?
Yeah.
Did the big head one come out first?
No, little head.
Right.
And he's regarded as the slightly rarer or slightly more expensive.
Right. Wow. No, I love it.
So there's three, but let me introduce you to the star of this show.
Right. It gets better than this.
It gets better than this.
What do you got there?
In these circles, it does. Now, what I've got here, it's nothing full on rare, but for collectors, it's a bit of a hurdle to jump.
Right.
This is called Pop-Up R2. And what this is, now this guy, as you've got the first 12, this guy here, he's referred to as part of the last 17.
Right. Okay.
Now
he's got this.
He's got the lightsaber.
I've never seen this.
All right. So
never seen this.
Before I take you to him, I'll just say a little bit around that last 17. What happened is toward the end of these figures, the figure run, they released 17 figures, and they were new. They weren't all new. There were some re-releases, Power of the Force line.
Did they sell them with a coin?
That's right.
Right.
That's right, with the coin.
Yeah.
And the last 17 was when Star Wars figures were universally regarded as unpopular.
Yeah.
So no one was really buying them. They were discounted. They were put in bargain basement bins, etc., all around the world.
Recollection of that series, but you got some good characters out of that, though, didn't you? I think there was the Emperor's advisor.
That's right, imperial dignitary.
Yeah, right. So
you're right, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah, 100%. And he was part of the last 17.
Yep.
And the last 17 are, funnily enough, more expensive than the first 12.
Wow. I'd be curious to know all the characters in that last 17.
Yeah,
There'd
I
be
could
some
tell
great
you them, but
Return of the Jedi numbers, I'm sure.
not all. You had Luke in a Skywalker disguise and a Stormtrooper disguise.
Really?
Yeah, with the helmet, Stormtrooper helmet that comes off his head.
Oh, shit. Have you got that?
I do have it. I'll bring it in one day. I should have brought it today, but yeah. So that's from an old film. Or the Death Star gunner, the guy with that funny helmet. He's in the last 17.
Right, because you hadn't seen him previously.
No.
So
there's some, So this
and
one's
he's amongst it.
He's amongst it.
The green lights.
But before I take you there, I'll just say the reason why last 17 is so expensive is they were in basement bins and they didn't last long. The line was, cut relatively early. I don't know how short it was, but it didn't last long.
Not
it
many
was at the
in
end
production.
of that's right. And so now on the secondary market, it's very expensive. So this guy now out of the last 17, there's those regarded as easy to get and those that are regarded as a little harder to get. And in a sense, you earn your stripes by forking out a few hundred on one of these little 3 1/4 inch figures. Yeah. And this figure is one. This is called Pop-Up R2-D2. So I'll take him out to show you. And essentially, he's an R2 like the other three, but when his dome spins, he lifts up his lightsaber. It's Luke's lightsaber, obviously.
It's great. Can it come out?
It does come out.
Right.
And
but the whole thing is green.
Yeah. The whole thing is green, and it can be held. I don't want to interfere with him too much, but yes, it does come out.
Cool.
And this is called Pop-Up R2-D2. A Pop-Up R2-D2 here, there. That guy will go for, in that condition, because he's mint. He's near mint. The sticker's not white, but do you know what? I'll be really honest with you. It's very, very rare to see these with a white sticker, and reproductions are not tolerated. They are not tolerated.
Yep. So what would you estimate the value of that?
The value of that, I would say, anywhere between $300 to $600 US.
Yeah.
That guy. And he, as you can see, he's 3 times as much as the first 12. This one is rarer. He's about 3 to 2 times. And this one's quite common. But he's the heavy hitter.
Yeah.
Pop-Up R2.